So I'm here with Mike Hillier at Metropolis. We're on the top floor and we're going to take a walk down to the mastering area, and he's going to have a little chat with us in his studio, and then we're going to have a look around a couple of the other studios. So off we go. Lead on.
Cool.
So we're here today with Mike Hillier at Metropolis. Nice, thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming down.
You're going to show us around all the mastering facilities, or some of them. But we'll start with your room. Can you tell us a bit about how long you've been here, a bit about the room, and what you kind of focus on when you?
Yeah. So this room is Woody. I've been here now for about a year and a half. This is probably the smallest room at Metropolis. A lot of really big, lovely rooms you're going to see in a bit, but it's still fantastic. It's one of the only two surround rooms in the building. So as you can see, we've got fantastic PMC speakers all around us, and a fantastic Maselec console which allows us to control all of the 5.1 EQ and compression switching, which I don't think they even make anymore. So it's quite difficult to do that stuff with anything else.
Right.
So as I say, I've been here about 18 months since coming back to Metropolis, working on a whole bunch of stuff through this room.
How does that work amongst all the mastering engineers? Is there? I mean, obviously there'll be mastering engineers that have their own client bases. When jobs come in, is it kind of you pitch in, try and steal the good ones?
A little bit of that, obviously. Yeah. I mean, so if you've got clients that a lot of the time, each mastering engineer will work on their own clients and will all build up relationships with individuals, and that's always just the best way. You know, the whole job works better if you have an individual relationship with the artist at the other end, because you know what they're trying to achieve, and you get used to their music over time, and you can help. I find you can help them improve as well. Yeah. You know, you can. If you've got a mix engineer who keeps using you as a mastering engineer, and every time you're pulling 400 hertz out, you can write him a little message and say, hey, I'm getting this same issue every time. Yeah. If you fix it at your end, my masters will sound even better because I won't have to do that.
I've just had exactly that experience, having done a load of work at home recently on mixing and taking it to mastering. And fortunately, it was a really good experience, but there was a couple of things where it really helped me. And
yeah, well, it's one of the things I really like to do. Yeah. And my background is all over the place. I've worked on Music Tech magazine. I've been an educator at SAE College. So when I want to meet people, and I want the people to come in, so I try and do as many attended sessions as possible.
Brilliant.
And talk people through what it is I'm doing with everything. And if they're, you know, an artist who's just coming in because they want to meet me, or they want to see the room, you know, just coming into Metropolis is an experience in itself. But then if it's a mix engineer who might come in, I find that really useful, because I'll be like, well, I'm doing this. What do you think of that particular EQ move or compression move? And if they, you know, if we find something where I'm doing it regularly, then the next time they might come back and go, well, I think I fixed that problem, and we'll just develop relationships between us, and build each other's abilities, I suppose.
Brilliant. Do you find, since people have been doing more home-based stuff, and younger bands are really struggling with budgets, do you find that you're reaching out a bit more to them about, you know, it's worth coming here and listening in a room with someone that's experienced that could help you with your project, even at a tracking, you know, give
absolutely.
them information?
And I have a bunch of engineers that I work with, and as I say, it always helps if you get to know each other. But if anyone can just send me mixes, and I'll, you know, if they're going to use me for mastering, send me early mixes, send me late mixes, and I'll provide feedback. You know, I'll say, oh, that's never going to work. Yeah. You know, or if I know it's going to end up on vinyl, I'll be like, let's not pan the bass hard left. Let's you know, let's be sensible. Let's do something on that. You know, so there are different things that you can approach from that method, and with, as you say, a lot of people working from home, and a lot of people for whom it's really a second or even a third job.
Sure.
You know, it's not like it used to be where you're working full time on mixing. A lot of people, it's their band, they've mixed it themselves, and they have another job which is their priority, and that's great. I love that that's a thing that people can do now. What I can bring to them is the fact that I'm sat here all day, every day, just listening to music on this system, in this one room, and really getting to detail. And so I think just that alone, having, and it doesn't have to be me, whoever it is, someone whose job it is all day to just listen to music and make it sound better is invaluable to someone who mixes from home.
Yeah. And we all believe there's a resurgence in vinyl. I mean, there is, I guess. Is that something now that people are starting to have to think about more? Because CD was kind of, for many years, was this, well, we've got 70 minutes of available space. Now you actually have to start thinking of pacing things and fitting them on sides. Are you finding you're really able to help people?
Definitely. I mean, we often make calls, even to some of the bigger labels, just saying, this isn't
33 minutes won't fit on a side.
And especially when you get one side's 33 and the other's 15.
Yeah.
If we just move a couple of those tracks, we can get a more even side split, and it'll cut better and everything else. Yeah. And sometimes you lose that argument.
Of course.
But that's artistic decision, and that has to come first. But it's nice, again, to just have someone who's making those more technical shouts for you. Yeah. And we're doing loads of vinyl. Great. Easily as much vinyl as CD,
Brilliant.
If not more these days.
So you touched on the Masalek. Is there any stuff that you just really feel? I mean, I'm noticing some old stalwarts like the ADAs and the DAs. Is there stuff that you've really been blown away by, or are you just like, no, we like what we like, and
well, I mean, so this the Avalon EQ, which we've got at the top, is probably one of the newest bits of kit in this room, and it's a really interesting piece of kit because it's kind of it's an EQ and a compressor in one, but the EQ looks and kind of feels a bit like a kind of add-on at the end, and it's primarily a compressor. And then I started getting to use it, and I realised the EQ's fantastic. It's probably gets way more use than the compressor part of that bit of kit, and it's just a real shame that it's just kind of graphic shells. It'd be nice. Maybe I need to put in a budget request to try and get
I'll get you in trouble now.
Avalon EQ. But so the Avalon EQ, I'm constantly bringing in new equipment. So through Music Tech magazine, I've got a kind of steady supply of anything new that I want to get hold of. I can get really easily, and they'll bring it in, and we'll plug it up and test it. There actually isn't. Oh no, there's a pair of headphones at the moment. So there's Sonoma headphones which I'm reviewing for Music Tech, and then the other really amazing kit that I love is over here on the pod. John Goldstraw, when he was head of tech here, built some. They're based on the Decca shelving EQ, and then Neumann transfer. Lathe EQ, and they are stunning. They don't get probably a lot of use, partly because they're in the pod, and so they're all the way over there, and most of my time spent over here.
It's such a long walk, isn't it?
That 2 steps is a long way to go, but also because they do quite a lot very quickly. So if you get a record in and you think, there's no bass on this, I need to put something in, you might find yourself really ramping on the Masalek or the Sontec, and you go over there and you're just like, that's it, found it, that's the one. And it's got loads of character to it, so if you need that, it's great. But if your record already kind of has character and it's already in the right shape, something like the Masalek is just cleaner, tidier. It'll keep the existing vibe more and just do a kind of tidying up job.
So on that, because you know that you've maybe pushed it too far, what's your recalibration process for your hearing? Because you're in here all day and we all know how our thresholds shift. Do you have like I think I may be losing it, I need to do this?
I'm really fussy about this. I take regular breaks, just listening breaks. I'll go and, I don't smoke, but I'll go and grab a cup of tea, and I make a point of always leaving the building for lunch.
Good.
Never just sitting inside. Don't care what the weather's like. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to take half an hour or whatever just to myself, not with headphones on, just go outside with a book. And I find things like that really useful. You do get the other thing, which is the amusing thing of like your hearing changes just after lunch. So just, eating will affect the way you hear things. And so sometimes, I'll find just before lunch I'll have been making things ever slightly too bright, and I'll come back and I'll do it the other way around.
Yeah,
Or something.
brilliant. That's interesting. Brilliant. So, they're fantastic. I mean, thank you for showing us this, and looking forward to seeing the other rooms.
Cool.
Nice
Always
one.
show you
Thanks,
around.
Mike. Cheers.